happy, happy, happy Thanksgiving. Even though we've already passed Thanksgiving. Critique-Opolis is back. We're gonna. I don't know if this is like a. This is gonna be a tradition for us, but we're doing a holiday movie this time, and I only have about 30 minutes left on the plan for the month, so we're gonna upload this one tonight. But it's gonna be a little bit shorter because we only have 30 minutes. But this wasn't a terribly long movie. We picked, actually I picked, because you haven't seen it, right? Home for the Holidays.
That's for you.
Which was a Jodie Foster joint. And you were kind enough to flip around and make the Notebook LM on this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we found how long it took to shoot the whole movie, but just, this is a movie that was shot with Holly Hunter and a huge cast. Well, I shouldn't say huge, but a star-studded cast.
Yeah.
Holly Hunter is a curator.
Mm-hmm. At a church.
I thought it was a gallery. I thought it was a big museum. I thought it was the big museum, and she's in Chicago, and she unceremoniously gets let go from her job, and inexplicably makes out with her boss.
Yeah, that whole detail, I don't know.
I don't know if she was. Are you okay?
I don't know what happened to my voice, but I'm fine. Thank you. Go ahead. What were you going to say about it?
No, about was she having an affair with him, or was it just like a gut reaction to getting fired, or what was that?
I'm still really confused about that moment in the movie because
it's the very beginning.
It was at the very beginning, and it was very quick. And then when she went to her family's for the holiday, she told them.
Yeah.
And it seemed like, I mean, I get it. That's not like,
I couldn't tell if it was like an ongoing affair.
Yeah, if it was something or if it just happened and she was mentioning it because it just happened.
Yeah.
It seemed, and then he apologized too. Like right after. So I wasn't sure, were they both in it or what?
Yeah, not exactly. Well, the first time I saw it, I thought they had an ongoing affair. And this is why he was broke up, is because he had to let her go.
Oh.
But.
Or he had to let her go because they were having an affair and that's not appropriate at work.
No, because remember he said they lost 90% of their federal funding.
That's true, and that he would have to let other people go as well.
Right. So they're in Chicago, and Holly Hunter's family is back in Baltimore. So she has to go back for Thanksgiving. This happens right on the cusp of Thanksgiving. What would you say? Is it the day before that she has to fly, or 2 days before?
I'd say it's like 2 days before, yeah.
Her daughter, who is Claire Danes, we watched another movie, which was one of your personal favorites, Family Stone, which she was also in.
Yeah.
But that's more of a Christmas movie. She looks way more grown up and adulted in that movie than she did in this.
Yeah. This had to be early in her career. I did want to look that up. I didn't
95.
Get it. Oh, so not super early.
It would have been after. She was in Romeo and Juliet with Leo, right?
Yeah, that's exactly.
And I want to say that came out when I was in high school, I think. Look that up on IMDb, but I can't remember. I want to say that was, or maybe I was in college. I remember so many of the girls.
I was in middle school, I think.
What's it say? You're still working on it.
Still working on it.
So, but...
There's so many.
Yeah, there's
oh my gosh.
So, Holly Hunter goes back to Baltimore to meet up with her family. And this movie, I think, it didn't do great in the box office when it first came out.
1996.
That's Romeo and Juliet?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so it was the following year.
Wow, okay, Claire Danes, cool.
So, I just heard this on the recap that we did with Notebook, that it didn't do that well in rentals or at the box office because I think at the time in the early 90s, people were looking for holiday movies to be feel good, have that problem all kind of wrapped up with a nice little conclusive bow at the end, and everything kind of works out. And this movie was really more of a picture of a family that they love each other, but they have the type of arguments and issues come to the surface during the holidays, like a lot of families issues do. And this was more of a snapshot of that. And I would guess that part of it only got like a C+ on Metacritic or something.
Oh, I didn't see that detail,
But I think that at the time, the zeitgeist kind of wanted feel-good movies about the holidays, and this was more of a like, you know what really happens at the holidays? People go home, they get together with their family, they argue about bullshit, they fight, they throw things at each other. There's insults hurled around, and then we leave, and then come back and do it a few weeks later at Christmas. In fact, her mother, played by
Ann
Bancroft, who was fantastic in this. She's just kind of a...
That's good.
What is a great adjective for her mom? She was sharp, quick-witted, kind of blunt about her situation, but fun. Like, she'd make cracks about her husband, who was played by... You get
Charles Durning.
Durning. She would always make jokes about him and say, "Oh, your father's so fat," yada yada yada. But they were clearly like nuts for each other.
Yeah.
In fact, there was a scene where Dad wakes up in the middle of the night, sneaks downstairs, and steals just a little sliver, just like fingers just the edge of the pumpkin pie and eats it, and comes back, gets into bed. And he's so wrought with guilt that he has to admit it to his wife. He wakes her up and is like, "All right, I had a slice of pumpkin pie." She smacks him. I like this because the first time I saw it at the holidays. I don't know if it was right before or while. Oh, you know what? My grandmother on my stepmother's side, we showed it to her and she roared. She like all of the, like when there's a scene, who else is in this? Robert Downey Jr. Plays the brother, Tommy. I'm forgetting all the characters.
Dylan McDermott?
Yeah, no. He's in that too.
Oh, the character.
Holly Hunter is.
Clyde.
Clyde?
Yeah.
What's Clyde?
That's her character's name. Or that's the nickname that they call her, I think.
Yeah, but what's her first name in that?
I don't know. Hold on.
It's not Claudia, is it?
Yeah, actually, I think it is Claudia.
So, there is a scene where Robert Downey's character fights with his other sister's husband, played by Steve Guttenberg, and Charles Dunning is sick of it, so he just whips out the hose in the middle of winter and hoses them down on the front lawn. And I remember very vividly my grandmother she thought that was hysterical. She couldn't contain herself. But a lot of back and forth with... So Holly Hunter gets on a plane to come home to Maryland, and she has a little bit of a breakdown anticipating what is about to happen. She's going to get home and she's going to have to deal with all the family drama that she's not looking forward to, knowing that, and Claire Danes has just admitted to her that she's not coming home to Maryland. She's going to stay with her boyfriend and have sex with him. So she's wrestling with that. She just got fired. She made out with her boss. She's not where she wants to be professionally, of course, and she has to deal with all the family bullshit. And she has a little bit of a breakdown and calls her gay brother Tommy, Robert Downey, and just, says she misses him. She wishes that he was going to be there, and and it just kind of closes out, like she composes herself and says, "Nah, forget it, I'll tough it out." And she's picked up by her parents, who they nag at one another, and she has to juggle it. And then Tommy shows up in the middle of the night with
somebody else,
some other guy. So there's so many little pieces to this to try and retell it as it's kind of pointless to do that, because Tommy's gay and his longtime partner Jack is not there, so Claudia thinks that this new person, Leo Fish, played by, what's his name?
Dylan McDermott.
I always confuse him with Dermot Mulrooney.
Yeah, I could see that.
He's the guy
100%. My best friend's wedding.
No,
he was in the Family Stone, too.
Family Stone, yeah. So, this is Dylan McDermott.
Yep.
His character's name, Leo Fish, again,
great name,
is just friends with Robert Downey. And
yeah, strictly friends.
And I guess Robert Downey has employed him. You don't really know what Robert Downey's job is, but he's doing well for himself. He has some kind of business dealing with restaurants, or he's some kind of food distributor or something.
And Leo Fish's character is a cook, I think.
Right, and then ends up working for Robert Downey. And really, Claudia gets upset because she thinks Jack, the boyfriend who is not there, has been replaced. And
we had to pause so you could explain this to me. Sorry.
Yeah, because when you're watching their interaction, you're like, why is she so hostile to him?
Yeah.
You don't get it.
Nope.
And she says things like, Jack meant a lot to me. And it's hard to pick it apart because Jack isn't there.
Mm-hmm.
And when you figure out, it took me 2 or 3 times to watch this, you're like, oh, Jack and Robert Downey, Tommy, are an item and have been for a long time. And they're still going strong, but he's not there, and this other guy is there.
Mm-hmm.
So Claudia assumes that Jack has been replaced. Something happened between,
yeah.
And in reality, what you find out is Leo saw a picture of Claudia off scene at some point, and just was totally smitten with her and had to meet her.
Yep.
And Tommy becomes this. He's like this, like, quick-witted, sharp matchmaker, but he also kind of keeps the family together.
Mm-hmm.
What are you looking at? You're like off in your own little thing.
I'm just looking at the cast list.
So who else have I left out here? Because when the other sister shows up, what's her name?
Joanne,
and that's played by
Cynthia Stevenson, whom I recognize. I'm not sure from what.
I recognize the name, but I'd be hard pressed to tell you what else she was in.
Yeah, I recognize the name, and I recognized her, like when the credits were going in the beginning.
And to try and, I'd almost do this movie a disservice by walking through all the funny little quirky things that happen between family members, but all the jokes are, it's not that they're inside jokes, but they're like with one family member quipping with another.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I believe this was, didn't you say this was this is a Jodie Foster production, and it was her second movie, but it didn't do that well financially.
It didn't.
It just scraped by its budget. Cost $20 million to make.
Yep.
22 million in change is what it brought in.
Mm-hmm.
What was?
I just wanted to find out who the daughter was.
Which daughter?
The Wedman's daughter, the Steve Gutenberg's family, and yeah.
Oh, because you said you recognized her.
Yeah, she just looks super familiar. But anyway, it's not. I mean, it's not important in the scheme of things.
Do you have up? It took them, I believe, 10 days to film just the dinner sequence.
Yep.
And I showed it to you. Do you have it on there? All the
food
they went through just for this 10 days of filming a Thanksgiving dinner.
Yep. Here we go. The production utilized massive quantities of props and food to maintain continuity over the 10 plus days of shooting. 64 turkeys, in case anybody didn't get that. 44 pies, 20 pounds of mashed potatoes, 35 pounds of stuffing, 30 pounds of sweet potatoes, 18 bags of mini marshmallows, and 50 gallons of juice that served as a substitute for wine.
Which was...
Are you hungry now?
I'm always hungry. I feel bad for Jodie Foster because I had told you when I got over here that during this movie, Robert Downey was having one of his... I don't know if he had multiple bouts with drugs and substance abuse, but during this movie he was having a really hard go of it. And he looked a little ragged, I guess, but it's not like he was waif thin or you could see, couldn't see track marks or anything, but he was on heroin at the time, which was tough because Jodie Foster, from our research, sent him a letter just to say, you have so much talent and you're so amazing on camera, but this lifestyle of yours could really derail you, and you could become a cautionary tale of Hollywood, and you have such a bright future in this, but like people want you for jobs, like don't go down this. And I remember after this, he had another bout with drugs. You remember when he ended up in jail?
Yeah.
I remember that mugshot of his.
Yeah.
And I always thought it was funny that they picked him for Iron Man. Mm-hmm. Because I read the comic books. I read a lot of comic books when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. And Tony Stark, in the comic books, they made a point of this. He developed a drinking problem. And a very bad one. Like, I remember, because my mother had a bad drinking problem. Mm-hmm. And I remember flipping through, I had this one comic with Captain America and Iron Man, and somebody starts a fire in a building, and Iron Man is being piloted. The actual person inside Iron Man was another person, because Tony Stark had given up his reins of the company and was living in this flop house that burst into flames. Mm-hmm. There was a bad guy who had the ability to project fire. Everything. He just started this building on fire, and Tony Stark was living. He was a millionaire, but he was living in this flop house and drunk out of his mind. Mm-hmm. And I remember connecting with this story because I'm like, oh my God, that's just like my mom. Mm-hmm. This is like a real thing that
happens to other people, not just you. It
happens to other people, and it was being illustrated in a medium that I consumed as a kid. Mm-hmm. And when they picked Robert Downey for this, I wondered, I'm like, are they picking him for this powerful, successful role because they're in some way going to, quote unquote, illustrate Tony Stark as having substance abuse problems? Because that's perfect. He looks like him in the comics, and he has a bad substance abuse problem that the actor does in real life. Mm-hmm. And it ended up being like a career-defining thing for him.
Yeah.
And he's been sober for a long time.
A long time, yeah. But he really did have a bad problem earlier. His
by far, this was my favorite character in this movie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He was so entertaining. You could tell that Charles Durning wasn't like a mean dad or anything, but there is a scene at the end. Like, I guess what I liked about this is it was comedy, but you also see all these different perspectives of how each family member views fragments of their life and points of their life growing up together and the holiday. Like, Dad reflects with Claudia about them all going to the airport when he worked he worked baggage at the airport, or something like baggage at the airport, and they watched the plane take off.
Mm-hmm.
And his wife and the two other kids were clinging onto him, and Claudia was just, she was off by herself. She was like on his shoulder, but she wasn't afraid the plane's taking off.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the other sister, Joanne?
Mm-hmm.
She made some quip at dinner about how Tommy and Jack got married. She's really conservative, and she's kind of disgusted with the fact that they're gay,
Mm-hmm.
and how it would have impacted her. Like, they never talk.
Mm-hmm.
I find this funny, is that she makes that crack at dinner. Like, how do you think this is going to affect me? Or it's like, other people see this, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't even think you guys live in the same town, Joanne. What do you care? But she made a crack about Tommy and Jack when they got married. Tommy could have worn a dress, and like Charles Durning is like, Tommy,
Did you wear a dress?
You didn't wear a dress, did you? He's like, no, Dad, stop, come on. But at the end of the movie, that you see all these, they're almost like 8mm films that are
Mm-hmm.
playing in somebody's head, and they're retrospective of. There's a scene where Claudia comes down to the basement, and Dad is down there watching 8mm films, and these flashbacks at the end are on an 8mm camera of these memories, like Jack and Tommy getting married on a beach, just with their friends, the plane taking off at the airport with all the kids there. The one with the kids is the one I remember the most. I've seen this movie a number of times. I've
Mm-hmm.
probably seen it 6 times.
Mm-hmm.
And there was another one, wasn't there? There was one of... oh, yeah.
There were a few.
Yeah, there was the one of Mom's sister. That's the other thing. Mom's sister, Janice.
Oh, we forgot completely, yeah.
She kissed Dad, and it was just kind of a little thing, but she has this very vivid, monumental memory of it, and she seems to be going through some kind of dementia throughout the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, she's not well.
She's not well. She's a little unhinged, but...
Because the siblings went to pick her up and take her home.
Right.
And they sent her home with leftovers and made sure she was in the house and all this kind of stuff.
It was funny because when I listened to the Notebook about it, the Notebook mentioned that she may have early onset dementia. I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, before we run out of time, you want to do the quiz?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do the quiz
I
on
do.
me. All right.
Yeah. Okay, the first question is, who was the director of this film? Was it Holly Hunter, Jodie Foster, W.D. Richter, or Peggy Rajski?
Well, W.D. Richter did the adaptation from the original screenplay.
Mm-hmm.
I know that. Jodie Foster.
Mm-hmm, that's correct.
All
This
right.
was her second film that she directed following a movie called Little Man Tate. Have you heard of that
I
movie?
have heard of Little Man Tate. I have not seen it.
Well, that was her first one in 91.
Okay.
Okay? The screenplay for this film is based on a short story that first appeared in what publication? The Boston Phoenix, the Baltimore Sun, the New York Times, or Rolling Stone?
I want to say the Times.
Okay?
Is that right?
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Not quite.
Oh.
The publication's critic, Jane Maslin, reviewed the film but did not publish the original story. Who
Oh.
did? How do you... Oh, the correct answer, the Boston Phoenix, right answer. The screenplay by W.D. Richter was an adaptation of a Chris Riddance short story from this publication. Okay. Question number 3. What is the primary setting for the Larson family's Thanksgiving dinner? Baltimore, Chicago, Philadelphia, or Boston?
Baltimore.
Baltimore. That's right. The source material notes that the filming took place in the city, which served as the home of Claudia's parents. According to the financial data, what was the box office result for Home for the Holidays?
22 and change.
Its domestic gross was equal to its production budget. It grossed more than double its production budget. It failed to earn back its production budget. or it grossed slightly more than its production budget?
Slightly more.
Correct.
Ta-da!
We've talked about this money thing, yeah.
I like talking
A
about
modest
budget money.
What?
I like talking about
It's very interesting.
profit on films. It's always like when people. Now you can make a movie by yourself for next to nothing, but back then it was very much a sell job to the studio. Like you had to know people, you had to get in there to get them in and be like, here's the. You know, it might get picked up by a studio, but it might sit in development hell forever, or just go into a drawer and sit there. But something actually getting fast-tracked is really kind of a fascinating, if there's any kind of a system to it, that'd be interesting to see if there's any film student out there who's written a paper on what makes or breaks a movie getting legs, so they say, with somebody cuts a check and greenlighting a picture. Go ahead, what do you got next?
Well, one of the questions I skipped over, but was who played Tommy in the movie and was allowed to improvise during the filming. And that was Robert Downey Jr.
Yep.
And this next question is, what surprising news does Joanne reveal about her brother Tommy during a heated argument?
That he got married.
That he got married to his longtime boyfriend Jack. The reveal occurs after Tommy accidentally drops the turkey on Joanne, escalating the family conflict.
I heard that during the podcast that Notebook LM made for this, they made kind of an interesting point. I didn't even realize it when it happens. I always feel kind of dumb when I miss these. That scene when they're trying to move, the turkey flies out, like he's trying to cut it, and it slips off the serving tray into her lap, and they pick it up off her, and all the innards and the juice run out onto her dress and onto her hair.
Yeah.
And what's funny is they're making a mess of a person who is a mess. She's...
Oh.
Yeah. Like, she on the surface has it all together. She's married to a banker, and she's very prim and proper. But she is the most unhappy person in the family. Because she wants things to look and behave and be a certain way. And because they're not...
She can't handle it.
She can't. Like, she thinks that Claudia she's got a big, impressive, big deal life because she's off in Chicago. And she's the one who's kind of around to manage mom and dad a little bit. And Claudia's position is like, no one asked you to do any of this
right.
stuff. You take these things on, they make you miserable, and then you dump it on everybody else. And she doesn't like Tommy because he's gay, and he's kind of off doing the same thing as Claudia. And I won't give away like the last conversation they had, but like I told you when we were watching it, like just what a sad way to end the conversation.
Yeah, yeah.
On the treadmill that she's on. Like, this is the only thing that makes me feel good. Like, oh.
Yeah, I found that really interesting. So, Jay's just saying that after this turkey falling on her at Thanksgiving and Thanksgiving all falling apart,
yeah.
She goes home and the sister goes home and excuse me, Claudia's character I think goes to drop off leftovers, and when she answers the door, when she rings the doorbell, the husband answers the door and says that she's downstairs working out in the basement on her treadmill because that's the only thing that makes her happy, and she just had a miserable time at Thanksgiving. What a surprise. And so she's working off her frustrations, if that's what you want to call it.
How many more questions we got? We're almost out of time.
I don't know how many questions we have, but the next one is, despite receiving mixed reviews overall, critics frequently praised which aspect of this film? The complex and unpredictable screenplay, the light-hearted and consistently comedic tone, the performances of Holly Hunter and Robert Downey Jr., the musical score by Mark Isham.
It's either B or C. I'm going to say the tone and the comedic components to it.
Okay.
No, is Holly Hunter, and
Yep.
no, that wouldn't make sense, I guess. Actually, yeah, that does make sense because they didn't appreciate the comedy till decades later.
The consensus among critics like Roger Ebert was that the lead actors gave strong, complex performances that elevated the film. I really like this movie. I tried to watch it the next day, actually, again. But I fell asleep because I was tired. How are we doing on time?
You got 46 seconds.
At the beginning of the movie, what is the true reason Leo Fish decides to join Tommy for Thanksgiving? He's Tommy's new boyfriend after a breakup with Jack. He's an old high school friend of the Larson siblings. He wanted to meet Claudia after seeing her picture, or he had no family to spend the holiday with.
I already told you that. He wanted to meet Claudia because Holly Hunter's a dish.
Okay.
You got time for one more. Quick.
Which of these events does not happen to Claudia Larson immediately before she travels home? She loses her job, she gets into a car accident on the way to the airport, she kisses her ex-boss, or she finds out her daughter is staying home with her boyfriend.
She does not get into a car accident.
She does not get in. Oh.
See? That's it. Now we're done.
Okay.
We have no more time left. I'm sorry, devoted listeners, but tight on time. This one's going up tonight. We're going to find another movie for you, but Home for the Holidays.
You should watch it.
Either Thanksgiving or Christmas. You got 4 whole weeks to jam that movie in. Mm-hmm. It's worthwhile. We do the Family Stone, but we have we've made a long list of 10 movies each that each one of us want to watch, so we're probably going to have to loop back to that next year. Thanks for listening. Talk to you soon. Hugs and kisses. Toodaloo. You're going to say goodbye?
Yeah, happy holidays. Goodbye.
See ya.